Hey guys, welcome to a new video. So I'm going to be doing another Gladiators workout review video today. Now I was going to be doing Viper's video. If you're someone who watches the show, you'll know Viper's someone who doesn't really speak much. So within the video, it's kind of just 10 reps, 2, fucking all this shit.
4 sets, 10 reps, shrugs, 4 traps.
And he's not really giving any advice or anything. He's just saying how many reps he's doing on an exercise, not saying anything about form or anything like that. So I won't be doing Viper's video. However, today we're going to be doing Giants. So there's quite a few things I want to go over with this, with his training and stuff like that. So same again, like I mentioned in my previous video with Bionic. There'll be a lot of people who'll be saying, oh, he's bigger than you. So, I mean, fucking Giant is definitely bigger than me. So a lot of people who are going to be going, oh, he's bigger than you. Why are you giving him advice? Your advice is pointless and all this. My advice isn't for him. My advice is for the people who are maybe watching his video and want to know if what he's saying is right and want to know other things and other options and how to train and if they're training correctly and stuff like that. So it's not for him, it's for other people who might want to expand the knowledge on how to train in the gym and stuff like that. So yeah, hope you like the video. Let's get into it.
Hi guys, I'm Giant and this is how I build my body. So now we're going to perform a Romanian deadlift with dumbbells. You can do this with the barbell as well, but we're going to use dumbbells today. I like dumbbells because you've got that freedom of movement from each side. The reason why I'm going to do this is because we want to create that strong, stable core. We've got to be stable in the games and solid with our foot base, and this is going to work the whole posterior chain from top to bottom. I would program this in your exercise plan, 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps, working up from a lightweight to a heavyweight as possible, really getting that force through the movement.
Right, so first exercise Giant's getting into is RDLs with dumbbells. Now he's mentioned that reason he does dumbbells is because it allows each side free reign of movement, which isn't really what you want in an RDL. The reason you do dumbbells is to basically mimic a barbell, how you execute the exercise, but you might be able to position the dumbbells in a different way. So you might put them to the side of your legs rather than directly in front, something like that. But you shouldn't be doing dumbbell RDLs wonky, where one arm's in front more than the other or something like that. You should still use the same principles as using them with a doing the exercise with a barbell. And he said there is stable exercise focused on his core, stuff like that. They're not really stable exercises. You don't focus on your core. I mean, they do subconsciously, if you will, but it's not like directly core work. However, it is a great, like I said, posterior chain exercise. So it is, your back, your glutes, hamstrings, all those posterior chain muscles like that. So yeah, it is a good exercise overall. Let's see how his form is.
So as I said, this exercise is great for the posterior chain, creating that stable base which we need for the games, but in life it's going to serve you well as well. And it's going to work everything from top to bottom. Here we go. So nice and controlled, always solid. Concentrate on your breathing and nice range of motion, fall down to the bottom. Nice stretch. Control up to the waist.
So in terms of form, I've noticed he could keep the dumbbells slightly closer to his legs. Obviously, the further out away from your legs the dumbbells go, the more weight is now pulling the top part of your body down and putting more pressure on your lower back. So you'd always, even if you're doing it with a barbell, you still transfer it to dumbbells, same knowledge. Try and keep those dumbbells as close to your legs as you can to limit lower back stress. Now, as well as that, the goal of the exercise isn't to get as low as possible and get the dumbbells or the weight as low as possible. The goal of the exercise is to push the glutes back as far as possible. So obviously you ideally want to get the weight past your knees and then push your glutes back as far as you can and feel that deep stretch in your hamstrings. That's how you do it correctly. If you're just focusing on getting the dumbbells all the way down to the floor, you're going to end up overarching your back and not fully stretching the hamstrings. So yeah, that's another point. Now with that being said, obviously with people's anatomies, the depth that you hit might be different with your RDL. So some people might go really low, some people might not even feel the hamstring stretch until they get the weight all the way down to just above the foot maybe. However, some people might feel it when they get just past the knee. So that's all about, obviously, again, pushing your glutes out as far as you can. But if you follow those principles, then you should be fine on the exercise, really. But overall, yeah, brilliant exercise, posterior chain movement, brilliant.
If you notice about a slight bend in the knee, and that's to protect the knee joint, but also to put the focus on the hamstrings and the glutes.
And yeah, that is a great point there, that you should keep a slight bend in the knees, and you should stay static in the same position throughout. So you get a lot of people who the knees either cave inwards or go outwards as if they're going into a squat, and they start bending the legs. You don't want that to happen. You want your shin, the bottom of your leg, to stay completely vertical throughout the whole movement of an RDL, and it's your upper leg that starts moving backwards and forwards, which is responsible for the hip hinge and is what's bringing your glutes back. So yeah, your knee should stay exactly where it is throughout the whole movement.
Right guys, so the next exercise we're going to use in a Bulgarian split squat with dumbbells. You can use a Swiss machine or a barbell if you like. I like to use dumbbells because I'm all about creating that independent movement throughout the body, single leg, single arm. That's why I'm using that, because I think it just adds the strength to the whole physique.
So yeah, it's a load of fucking waffle there, to be honest. I don't know what he means by it's an independent movement. He could have just said that split squats, he prefers the movement, it feels good. Maybe it's better on his knees, it feels. And it allows you to use less weight because you're obviously only using one leg, which means you can focus more on less knee stress, stuff like that. And then it improves your balance and improving your balance and stuff, which you need for the events and stuff. So yeah, he could have just said those things. I don't know what he's on about with it being an independent movement. Yeah, it's independent as in it's on one leg, but yeah, it's just simple terms. You might just prefer the movement.
So the reason why I'm using this is, again, in the Gladiators we need a stable core and stable base. So this is going to make sure that each leg is well balanced, solid, and you'll be able to stand up in them games and take all the hits.
The toughest game show on earth is back. Welcome to...
So you're going to take one leg, elevate on the bench behind you, or raised platform box, whatever you've got, and you simply got to squat down nice and deep so your knee is just off the floor, and then squat back up. This is going to be great for the hamstrings, the glutes, and even the quads.
Now with this, it depends how you perform the movement. Yes, it will target all three, but there's different ways of targeting different areas during the movement. So for example, when you're doing Bulgarian split squats, if your knee is going over your toe and you're getting more knee bend, you're going to be training a lot more of your quads, or targeting and putting a lot more stress onto your quads. However, if your knee is staying over your heel throughout and you're kind of leaning over, keeping your body weight over your heel, again, that'll be more of a hip hinge, which is going to be targeting more of your glutes and your hamstrings. So depends how you perform in the exercise. Knee over toes, getting as much knee bend as possible, is going to be more quads. Keeping your knee over your toe, glutes back, body weight over your heel, is going to be more glutes.
Remember, all solid foundations start from the bottom up.
Now, it's a good point there, Ismail, which I agree with. If your feet aren't solid, then the rest of your body will not follow. You need a solid base to execute the movement correctly. That's why when you're doing squats, you don't really want to be going up on your tiptoes, stuff like that, putting you off balance. So if your feet have a solid base, then you're going to be executing the exercise a lot better. So yeah, I agree with that point.
Next exercise, if you want to know how Giant trains for the games. Stiff leg deadlift with dumbbells. We're going to add a little bit of twist to it with a single leg. Why? Because, no spoilers, but you might see me on dual 1 or 2 times. And dual is all about balance, core stability, and power. But this is going to create that base, but it's going to create the base both sides. It's important that we train both legs. There's no point in being one-sided, because that's when you start walking around in a circle. We don't want that. Where we go. Without further ado, single leg, dumbbell, stiff leg dead.
So yeah, good form and execution on these. However, I would mention if he's doing an exercise specifically for balance and core strength, stuff like that, you're better off doing an exercise where you've just got one weight on one side, because it's going to prevent you from, you know, leaning over. If you've got the weight on the other side as well, they're going to counterbalance and your core is not going to be having to work as much. Whereas if you just have weight on one side, you're really going to have to be activating your core to kind of keep your center of mass up and keep your body upright. So if you're doing it for balance, probably not the best. There's other better exercises you can do, but form wise, brilliant.
Final exercise for your big giant leg day. We have front squats with a barbell. Can do these with a dumbbell or a Smith. But barbell, I like this because there's a lot of focus on each muscle group working individually with like minimal support from any like fixed mechanism like a Smith. So the reason I'm doing this, again, speak about core stability, speak about having those solid foundation. Something like dual, this is key. Balance, core, power, you've got to have a good base.
So he could have just said there that he's doing him to bias the quads more. Obviously, with it being a front squat, you're not doing as much of a hip hinge. You're able to stay up more, right, which is going to be more knee bend, staying upright. Glutes aren't going back. It's not as much as a hip hinge, so you're going to be targeting the the quads a lot more doing that. But yeah, they also are good for challenging your core and balance and stuff like that as well. So they are good for those reasons too.
And squats are the best exercise possible for the legs.
However, I wouldn't agree with this. They're not the best exercise for legs. It's just all preference, really. You might be able to do, some people might not be able to do that exercise. They might prefer other ones. They might feel more comfortable. So it's all preference. They're not the best exercise you can do.
Why front squats? Well, for me, I like how we should engage my core. So I'm building up that core strength for the front squat. I can keep more of a neutral spine and stay more upright. Instead of a back squat, tendency is to lean forward. And that, for me, being super tall as well, to be honest, puts extra pressure on my lower back. So this is not only more beneficial, but it's safe for me as well. Give it a try.
Okay, so just scrap everything I said before there. Obviously, if you mentioned all this before in the first part mentioning that exercise, then it would have been a lot more simpler. He kind of said a lot of different stuff, and then now he's just simplified it and made it a lot more easier. So yeah, everything he's just said there is correct. Totally agree with, yeah. So overall with his form on these, seemed like brilliant form. Only thing I'd mention is his knees might have been caving in a bit at the bottom as he's coming back up, but that might just be the camera angle, I'm not too sure. And his heels might have come up slightly, but again, I'm not sure if that's just the camera angle that I'm looking at. But apart from that, form looks brilliant to me. So yeah, fantastic all around there.
Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Giant, and this is how I build my body. Thank you very much for watching, and please try these exercises in part of your own fitness routine and dominate in life also. I, Giant, am coming to a BBC screen near you very soon with my fellow gladiators, so tune in and watch us dominate the contenders.
So yeah, that's the end of Giant's workout there, so I hope you enjoyed. Some things obviously which could be changed, but overall perfectly fine workout, especially the exercises he picked. So hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any points of contention, anything you need me to go over, or any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments. Hope you liked the video. Please like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.